Don't subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't like my content, my videos, unless you've actually watched a video or two and you found value in it. I realize that I'm tired of playing this game. Some call it the numbers game. This game of seeking validation, of creating your content around a cycle of validation. You want to do things so that people will like you, or so that you can become popular, you can go viral. And then you lose sight of yourself. You lose sight of your soul. You no longer live for yourself. You're now living for people's opinions. It's a dangerous game. I've been doing a lot of research around it in the past few days because I found that I was having some experiences around my art and my life as a creator that's a little bit unexpected. There's supposed to be a joy that you find in creating things. As a creator, there's supposed to be some level of happiness you find in being able to put out your art as an artist. That joy of when you make a painting or a drawing or a piece of music, it can easily get swept away and consumed by this popularity thing, this follower thing, the numbers game, where you now begin to think that the evidence that your content is great, or the evidence that you are liked as a person, is the numbers. So how many followers you have, how many likes you have, how many comments you have on your content now means you are a valuable person, or you have a valuable product or commodity or piece of art. And that is false, because some of the people I've listened to in the past few days, one of them said that the content that he liked the most, the video that he liked the most, the video he felt had the most value, was not his most popular video. And you can also see it in social media, where sometimes just a video of a girl practically naked and twerking or being sensual can rack up 5 billion views. And a video where somebody is sharing his life story and deep life lessons has just a few 100,000 views. It shows you that social media presents a lopsided view of what is valuable in this world. What is valuable is not always what is popular. What is valuable is not always what is liked. And so, coming back to my YouTube channel, I have been frustrated a lot of times by the amount of effort I put into creating a particular video and the response I get. And rather than be happy that I was able to put out something of value that I think if anybody ever comes across and watches, he will learn something, rather than feel happy that I have created something, and as a creator, as an artist, I will find joy in that thing, rather than focus on the fact that I am living my purpose, which is to create, I am rather focused on the responses. Take for instance, my last video was a follow-up to a previous video, and on that last video I got the lowest views I've ever gotten on a video in a couple of days. As of making this video now, I have just 40 views on that video, which is ridiculous. But it made me think. Sorry, that noise in the background, my daughter is screaming. She's just having fun. It made me think that, is that really the purpose of creating content? It's a trap, and I don't want to get into that trap. And that's why I'm making this video, and I'm saying publicly, and I'm going to put it right there boldly on the thumbnail, that I don't want anybody to subscribe to my channel, like my videos, or drop a comment, unless you've watched a video or two and you found value in it, whether entertainment value, whether you found that what I've said is making sense, or whether you like the production value, whatever it is, and then you decide of your own choice. It really doesn't matter to me. I don't care if you decide to click follow or subscribe. And I'm putting it out there because I made up my mind that from today I'm going to be creating for me. I'm going to put myself first, not the algorithm. Screw the algorithm. If YouTube finds my videos and finds them valuable and shares them with people, all well and good. If nobody watches my videos, it's still my channel. I can come up there any day, watch my content, and feel happy that I created this, and look for ways to improve and make it better, to reach a standard that I set, not a standard that anybody sets, YouTube sets, or anybody sets. So where does this whole thing about seeking validation, external validation, come from? I've been doing research, and this is what I found out so far. A lot of it stems from our childhood experiences. If you've ever had a childhood experience where you were deprived of validation, of love, of attention for a period of time, and it wasn't resolved, A lot of times what happens is that when you get over into adulthood, you now begin to try to compensate for that deprivation, that lack. And you compensate by behaviors that try to seek the validation of other people. And I would be very vulnerable and open and confess that I am one of those kind of people. Sometime during my childhood, I experienced that lack and deprivation. And I found that to a large extent, some of the things I've done in the past as an adult have been in a way to try to get people to like me or to think that I'm a valuable person. And social media has come to make it worse. That's why I find it quite interesting, because I've never really been a person who cares about what people think about me, to be honest. I'm a solo person. I'm a self-starter. I can be driven as an individual. I'm a very individualistic person. I'm very happy being on my own, doing my own thing. And at the same time, I find that just like many people, I also want to be liked and be part of a collective, a community. And from my research, I found out that that's natural. It's natural. It's part of human development and human history for people to want to belong. Back in the days when there were clans, you want to identify or be part of a family or a clan or a group or a tribe. It's natural. Animals display that. So it's part of nature to want to belong or want to be part of something. And anytime anybody was ostracized from a clan or from a group or community, it was a terrible thing. In early prehistoric times, it translated to death, because your survival was tied to being part of a community, part of a clan. I mean, if you look at the animal kingdom, even lions and the apex predators, they move in packs. And anybody who was ostracized was vulnerable to being attacked. The same thing if you study wolves and dogs and all these other animals. So the minute an animal is ostracized or pushed out of a clan, it's vulnerable to attacks, vulnerable to starvation, vulnerable to anything. And so it's part of our human nature, it's part of nature to be part of something. But there should be a balance. The problem with children, or those of us who went through childhoods where our sense of value was challenged and traumatized, the problem with that is that it pushes you to the extreme if it isn't resolved in childhood. And then as an adult, you now begin to overcompensate and try to seek validation from other people. And then social media now makes it worse, because now, and this goes back to something I watched recently, social media has made it easy for people to like and follow you even if they're not getting value from you, because it's a trade by barter thing. So people come out on social media and say, okay, if you like my content, I'll like your content, whether there's any value being exchanged or not. So it has now begun to make people focus on the numbers. And you post a video and you wake up tomorrow and it has 100,000 views. Wow, you feel good about yourself. You feel like not even thinking about whether it has really added value. I mean, to you, if 100,000 people like it, then it must have added value, right? But then what kind of value? Is it just pure entertainment value? Is it sensual value? You just want to turn people on? Or is it value that can save a life? Because a girl twerking on Instagram isn't going to save anybody's life. I don't think so. The point is that I'm committing myself to studying and thinking more deeply about this issue around seeking external validation. I'm an artist, right? I love to create. I can't but create. It's part of why I live and breathe, right? If you tell me now to stay on an island and do nothing but just look at nature and enjoy it, I might be okay for a while. But after a while, there's something in me that is going to want to explore and create. And that brings me to the point that creating content should not be for the sake of external validation or popularity or virality. Creating content should be part of your journey of self-discovery, self-exploration, and living out your purpose in life. That is what it should be for me. That I came to this world and I was able to use all my God-given talents and opportunities to create something of beauty, even if it's only going to be admired by just a few people. That's one. Secondly, the process of being able to pull together from my inspiration, from my experiences, from my talents and my gifts, and bring out something new is a journey in self-discovery. It's a journey. I'm learning more about myself. I'm becoming familiar with myself, becoming intimate with myself, I'm liking myself more because of what I've been able to create. I'm finding joy in creation, finding joy in what I've created, rather than finding joy in other people viewing it and liking it. So if I create something and I put it out there, I should first of all find joy in it and be happy with it. And then if people come around and look at it and say, wow, this is fantastic, that should be the icing on the cake. And if nobody comes around and looks at it, I should still be happy with what I have created. And that is the way it's supposed to be. But many times it's the opposite. We create and we put it out there and we wait and see. Is anybody coming to like my video? Is anybody coming to like my photograph? Is anybody liking my selfie? Is anybody liking my poem? Oh, nobody's liking it. That means it's not really good. You take it and you chuck it away, or you scramble back and try to produce another one. And that is a trap I have been falling into. So I produce a video, nobody likes it, or I'm not getting the amount of attention I feel like it should get, and then I go back to my studio and I create something as I put it out there. You see, it's a trap, and I want to be free of that trap. I want to be totally free. I want to be myself. And to me, this ties into being more, doing more, and having more. As long as you live your life seeking external validation, wanting people's likes, follows, wanting people to smile at you and approve you, you will never really live your own life. You will never really be your own self. You will never really be happy. So the point is, get to the point where you can say, I don't really care what anybody thinks. I don't really care if anybody likes this or not. This is my authenticity. This is my authentic self. This creation is part of my authentic process. I have created this from a place of truth and conviction, from a place of adventure and curiosity, from a place of love and passion, rather than from a place of seeking popularity. So I don't care if this channel blows up or not. I'm still going to be here doing this. I believe in the concept of being more, doing more, and having more. I didn't get here overnight. I know who I used to be. I know how low I was, how I used to look down on myself, and how I felt like a victim. And I know how I began to discover some tips and tricks and some things that helped me to break out and become who I am today. I have been in a place where I have been so broke, I was always borrowing money. Now I'm in a place where I am always giving out money. That transition, that transformation, the things I've learned from that process are the things I'm pushing out through this concept of being more, doing more, and having more. And I will push those ideas out in as creative a way as possible. Currently through filmmaking and graphics and visuals, because I'm a very visual person, and that is my truth. That's who I am. That's what I want to continue to do on this channel, irrespective of whether anybody sees it, likes it, or follows it. And so I did this video so that maybe there's someone out there who also feels like you're in this trap of seeking external validation. You want people to like your stuff. You're creating content for virality, for the algorithm. I mean, it started with Instagram for me. All of a sudden, Instagram was not giving me the response and the views I liked. I grew accustomed to when Instagram started, when it was really easy to build engagement on Instagram. Now it's so hard and so difficult. You put out a post that you think this makes sense, and it goes nowhere because nobody knows you. Of course, it doesn't happen overnight. You have to be consistent. You have to put the work in. But it used to be much easier before. And so it's easy to get discouraged when you look at your content and you feel like, this is solid content, and all you see is 4, 5, 6, 7 views. So do you now stop? If you ever feel affected, you feel like this is not worth it, then you're missing the point. But if you keep doing it every day because it's part of your self-expression, it's part of your purpose, then you will be happy. And the point is to be happy, to be pleased with yourself, to self-validate, to get to the point where you're authentic enough to believe in what you're doing, irrespective of what anybody feels. Anyway, that's the point of the video. So if you watched this video, if you liked it, if you found value in it, if anything I said made sense, and you think this is a channel that you would want to subscribe to, please go ahead, subscribe. If you watched it and you don't feel convinced, it's fine, it's perfectly fine. You know, there are other channels and videos that would say what I'm trying to say in a better way, and I think those are channels you should subscribe to. And if you liked any other thing about this video, you feel like, you'd like to subscribe, it's all good. But even if you don't, it's all good. But I'll say it again, don't subscribe to this channel unless you find value in it. And if you're out there and you create content for the purpose of getting validation from people, getting people to like you and all of those things, I think you should stop it. I'm on that journey right now, and I'm going to do a lot more videos about this as I continue to do my research and personal study and reflections. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.